I never thought a relationship could turn into my biggest nightmare until I met Lisa Monroe. We were once happy. Truly happy. When we first met, Lisa was a beautiful, charming, and intelligent woman. She knew how to make me laugh, always making me feel special. We met at a tech conference in New York where I was working for a startup. Lisa, at the time, was a talented graphic designer, full of creativity and energy. I fell for her the moment we met. The first few months, our relationship was perfect. Lisa always wanted to spend time with me, texting me all day and asking about the smallest details of my life. I thought it was a sign of true love, but it turned out to be sweet control. I realized this when she started getting irrationally jealous. If I didn't reply to a message immediately, she would call repeatedly. If I went out with friends, she would coincidentally show up at the same place. At first, I thought it was just excessive care, but over time, it became suffocating and frightening. Lisa didn't just want to know where I was. She wanted to control every aspect of my life. Things came to a head one night when I decided to break up with her. I had carefully planned it, waiting for the moment we met at our favorite cafe to explain everything. I hoped she would understand, but I was wrong. Lisa didn't cry, didn't beg me to reconsider. She went crazy. She screamed right in the middle of the cafe, causing everyone around us to stare. Then suddenly she smashed her coffee cup, her eyes red with rage. I had to leave immediately, leaving Lisa standing there, shaking and glaring at me with pure fury. I thought it was all over. I thought I had escaped her control. But little did I know, that was just the beginning. I thought everything was over after that breakup night. But I was wrong, my biggest mistake of my life. After leaving the cafe, I felt relieved. It was as if a heavy stone had been lifted off my chest. I told myself that I would be fine, that Lisa would eventually accept the truth. I even sent her a polite message, saying that I hoped she would find new happiness. Lisa didn't respond. In the following days, I started noticing strange things. At first, it was just the feeling of being watched. When I left my apartment in the morning, I could feel someone staring at me from somewhere in the dark. When I drove to work, sometimes I'd look in the rearview mirror and see a black car following me for the entire trip. But whenever I stopped to check, it would disappear. I told myself it was just my imagination. Maybe it was just anxiety after the breakup. But then the weirdness escalated. One night, after returning home from a hangout with friends, I noticed that my apartment door wasn't locked like I had left it. A chill ran down my spine. I never forget to lock the door. I distinctly remember checking it twice before I left. My heart raced as I pushed the door open. The apartment was pitch black. I turned on the lights. Everything was still in place. But something was wrong. The atmosphere felt suffocating, as if someone had been here before. I walked into the bedroom and immediately froze. On my bed there was a photo of me and Lisa. But what terrified me the most was that the photo had been cut in half, leaving only Lisa's side. My half had been slashed to pieces, as though someone had violently cut it with a knife. I froze. A cold shiver ran down my spine, and my heart pounded wildly in my chest. Someone had been here. Someone had done this. And I didn't need to be a genius to know who it was. I immediately called the police. They came to check, but they didn't find any signs of a break-in. The door had no signs of being tampered with. The security system showed no unusual activity. Everything seemed completely normal, except I knew something was terribly wrong. After that night, I began to lose sleep. Every night, I felt like someone was standing outside my window staring at me. I heard small noises in the dark, footsteps so faint, soft laughter, or my phone vibrating in strange ways. And then the messages started. A strange number. No name. No profile picture. Do you miss me? Why did you do this to me? You think you can just abandon me? You'll see it's not that easy. Each message sent chills down my spine. I blocked the number, but immediately another one would text me. One night, as I was driving home after a late shift, I glanced in the rearview mirror and saw the familiar black car. This time, I didn't let it disappear. I sped up, turning down random streets to see if it would actually follow me. And it did. I felt real fear now. My throat was dry as I decided to drive straight to the police station. But just as I was about to get there, the car suddenly vanished, as if it had never been there. I started doubting my sanity. Was I imagining everything? Or had Lisa truly crossed the line into obsession? But then, on the most terrifying night of all, I got my answer. I was lying in bed trying to get some sleep, though I knew it wouldn't come easily. The lights were off, and only the street light outside cast a dim glow through the curtains. Suddenly, I heard a knock at the door. 3 knocks. Soft. My heart stopped. Who could be at my door at this hour? I crept to the door, peering through the peephole. No one was there. I backed away. A cold sensation spread through my body. Then my phone vibrated. A new message from a strange number. You won't be able to escape. Before I could react, the knock came again, this time louder. I threw open the door, but the hallway was empty. But when I looked down, a knife was placed right at my doorstep, its sharp blade reflecting the streetlight. Next to the knife was a photo of me sleeping, taken from the corner of my bedroom. I froze. No one has a key to my apartment. No one should have been able to get in here. Except Lisa. I started shaking. She had been in here. She had stood in my room while I slept. And if she could do that, what would happen next? I couldn't breathe. My entire body froze as I stared at the photo and the knife placed right at my apartment door. I couldn't believe it. Lisa, she had been here. While I was sleeping, she had stood in my room. She had watched me, observed me, and even taken a photo of me. Panic surged through me. I slammed the door shut, locked all the locks, and slowly backed away, trying to think clearly. I couldn't stay here another minute. I needed to call the police immediately. My hands trembled as I picked up the phone, but when I dialed, the screen turned black. My phone had been turned off remotely. My throat went dry. How could this happen? I quickly tried to restart the phone, but the screen only displayed a brief message before it turned off completely. You can't escape me, my love. I threw the phone onto the bed, my whole body shaking uncontrollably. I felt like I was being hunted. The air in the apartment suddenly became suffocating. I felt unsafe, like at any moment she could appear from the shadows. I quickly grabbed my keys, hastily threw on a jacket, and rushed out of the apartment. I had to get out of there immediately. I drove without a destination. I just wanted to escape. The dark road stretched ahead of me, the streetlights casting long shadows, like lurking figures waiting for me. I had once loved Lisa. I had once thought she was just a sensitive, vulnerable girl. But now I realized how wrong I had been. She wasn't just obsessed, she was playing a sick game. After a while of aimless driving, I decided to call a friend, Nathan, one of the few people I still talk to after dating Lisa. When he heard my voice, he immediately knew I was in distress. "What the hell is going on with you?" Nathan asked, his voice full of concern. I told him everything, the strange messages, the feeling of being followed, and the photo on my bed. Nathan was silent for a moment before he spoke again. "You can't be alone right now. Come to my place." I nodded, even though he couldn't see. I needed somewhere safe, somewhere Lisa couldn't find me. I stepped on the gas and headed toward Nathan's apartment. But as I turned onto the main road, the headlights from a car behind me shone straight into my rearview mirror. I frowned. The black car. Was it again? My heart started pounding. No, this couldn't be happening. I was overthinking it. Maybe it was just a stranger going the same way. But when I turned right, the car turned right too. I kept my calm, continuing to drive, deliberately taking random turns, trying to shake the car off. But no matter how many times I turned, the car stayed right behind me. My hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. She had found me. The overwhelming fear spread throughout my body as I pressed harder on the gas, trying to lose the tailing car. But no matter how fast I went, the black car still wouldn't give up. Suddenly, my phone rang. I glanced at the screen. No number. No name. I hesitated, then answered. A soft voice came through, sending a chill down my spine. "Do you think you can run from me?" It was Lisa's voice. She was right behind me. My hands tightened around the steering wheel, my heart pounding in my chest like it was going to burst. The headlights from the car behind me were still blinding, sticking to me like a predator stalking its prey, ready to strike. Lisa. She was there. Cold sweat ran down my spine as her sweet, distorted voice echoed through the phone speaker. "My love, don't do this to me. Don't run away from me. You belong to me." My throat went dry. I hung up, throwing the phone onto the passenger seat. I pressed my foot hard on the gas, speeding through the thick darkness of the night. The empty streets, with streetlights flickering as if they were about to die out, made everything even more eerie. The car behind me accelerated. I swerved the wheel sharply, turning onto a narrow road. The streetlights disappeared. Only darkness remained. An empty road led into a desolate industrial area, where no one would hear my screams if something happened. Then I realized my mistake. Lisa had trapped me. The car behind me stopped right in the middle of the road, its headlights flashing as if mocking me. I took a deep breath, my hands shaking as I opened the car door. I couldn't keep running forever. If she wanted a confrontation, I would end it here. I stepped out of the car, the cold wind cutting into my skin. Everything around me was eerily silent, only the sound of insects chirping and the engine of the car still growling in the dark night. Then footsteps echoed. Lisa stepped out from the shadows. She was wearing a white dress, the hem covered in mud, her long hair matted, and her face emotionless, except for her eyes. Her eyes were haunting like a living ghost. "You've made me so sad, Ethan," she said, her voice sweet in a strange way. My heart stopped when I looked down at her hands. She was holding a knife, and the blade was still stained with blood. It was blood. I tried to step back, but Lisa moved closer, her eyes wild with madness. "You can't leave me, Ethan." Then she lunged. I stumbled back, feeling as though the world was collapsing as I watched Lisa charge toward me with the knife. My breath came in short gasps, every cell in my body screamed for me to run, but my legs felt frozen to the cold, hard ground. Lisa laughed, her smile twisted, manic. She was no longer the girl I once loved. "Are you scared of me, Ethan? Why are you backing away? Didn't we promise to be together forever?" I swallowed hard, trying to keep my composure. "Lisa, please, stop. I don't want this." She tilted her head, her eyes flickering as if trying to understand my words, then suddenly giggled. "Don't want this? Then I've crossed that line long ago." Then she swung the knife down. I dodged to the side, barely escaping the deadly thrust. The blade slammed into the asphalt with a sickening clink. I ran. No hesitation, no second thoughts. I sprinted like mad toward the abandoned warehouse in the distance, my heart pounding like a war drum. Lisa didn't slow down. I could hear her footsteps, feel her breath hot on my heels. The warehouse door creaked open. I dove inside, slamming the door shut behind me, desperately pushing a steel shelf in place. Gasping for air, I pressed my back against the wall, trying to calm myself. Outside, Lisa gently tapped on the metal door, the sound of thunk, thunk, echoing through the dark space. "You think you can hide from me forever?" Her voice lingered, sweet but bone-chilling. I stayed silent, my heart pounding in my chest. "Do you remember this place, Ethan?" Lisa asked, her voice bouncing off the walls from all directions. I shivered. Yes, I remembered this place. We had come here once. A night years ago when we were still a happy couple, we skipped school to stargaze. Back then, I had said that if anything ever happened, this would be the place I'd run to. She remembered. And now she was here to find me. Suddenly, a loud crash rang through the warehouse. I jumped, my heart racing. Lisa was breaking the door. The steel shelf rattled, each thud heavier than the last. I turned, searching for an escape. There was none. The darkness of the warehouse consumed me, like I had walked straight into a nightmare with no way out. And Lisa was about to get in.